full Kotlin, Kotlin and Android Studio support, and it has APIs for built-in support for material design, dark theme, animations, and more. Compose, I think, has been stable for quite a while, since last year. So this means that you can start using it in production. We actually have already seen almost, I think, 10,000 apps using Compose. 1,000 apps using Compose in production. So yeah, we're hoping to answer any questions you might have around this. I'll start actually with one that was asked yesterday. Okay, I was really hard with Compose, but it seems really confusing to migrate my production app onto Compose gradually because it has so many XML files. What do you guys suggest for this? And what is the best way to do this while having many fragments and old UI stuff? Chris, I'm going to hand this one to you.
Yeah, I can take this one. So Compose was really designed and built with Vue interoperability in mind. And you can gradually migrate your Vue-based code and XML code to Compose. And a gradual migration is definitely what we recommend over completely rebuilding your app from scratch. So in terms of how to do that, there are different strategies you can use, top-down or bottom-up. With top-down, you essentially take an entire Vue container, fragment, or top-level component and rewrite it entirely in Compose. With a bottom-up approach, you pick a smaller element, a leaf essentially in your UI tree, and replace it with a Compose view. So you kind of repeat this strategy until most of your UI code is in Compose. Nick, I think you had some points about theming.
Yes, I mean, another common bit of XML code in your Android app can be your theme. So to get around that, like while you have both XML views in your app as well as Compose, and have a single source of truth for your app's theme, we have a couple small libraries that help to do this for interop purposes. So we have the MVC Android Compose theme adapter library, which supports both the theme.material components themes, and then also, as of late, theme.material 3 themes. And then there's also one in Accompanist as well, which helps with theme.appcompat themes. And these libraries will just pipe through the theming values to the relevant material theme, either the one from Compose Material or Material 3, depending on what you're using in your app. So that just makes theming interop a little easier.
Cool, thank you guys. In general, if you want to ask questions, please compose your questions on Twitter and tweet them using hashtag 30daysofcompose, and then we'll use the hashtag to find your questions and then answer them. I'll go to one on animations. What is the correct way to make the transition animations between fragments and Compose?
Cool. I think this question was a little bit unclear as to what exactly was meant by transition animations. So I'll talk about two different kinds. So depending on what you're trying to do, if you're transitioning between navigation destinations, you'll likely want to look at using Accompanist. And for those that don't know, Accompanist is a labs-like environment for News Compose APIs. So it's stuff that hasn't landed in our official APIs, but it is sort of a very experimental playground for new things. So navigation between destinations, you'll have a look at that. But if you're looking to transition between non-navigation based composables, for example, if you're transitioning between a loading and a loaded state, you can also look at using the animated content APIs. We are also actively working on more APIs for animations. So for shared element transition APIs that you might be familiar with in the Vue system, We now are working on that at the moment. So if you're looking to transition elements between screens, this is still in active development. And we'll be landing some more general improvements to layout measurements for this work to happen as well. So lots coming up with animation and lots that will work currently.
Thank you. The next one is on states. What is the ideal way of observing states within Compose elements? And then I think the follow-up is that the tutorial shows that ViewModel is injected into Compose component, but this makes the screen hard to display the preview without mocking ViewModel and testing. So maybe Alejandra, do you wanna talk about ViewModel and state, and then maybe handling state in general in Compose?
Yeah, sure. So this is a great question. I think I know where the question is coming from, because what you might have seen in our guidance and the tutorials was using ViewModel's method to inject the ViewModel into your composables. And this is a method that you can use in any composable that will return, if the instance is available, it will return an instance of that ViewModel, else I will create a new one for you. So we do recommend using ViewModels for top-level composables, or what we call the screen-level composables. So by all means, you use your ViewModels to store your state and business logic, and you just not pass them around to other composables that you're calling down the line. And by doing this, you'll definitely be coupling your ViewModel to all your composables, and you don't want to be doing that. And then by hoisting your state, which is a strategy of separating your composables and creating a stateless and a stateful composable, what you can do is you can just receive your ViewModel and use or pass around only the state and the business logic